I have a mom and a dad, Pat and Don Valentine, who love me. Yay! And I have a little sister, Laura, who's not really little. She's only 3 years younger than me, and my brother, David. And I think what I want to focus on right now is me and my brother's relationship.
When you wake up, everything's gonna be fine.
David was 13 and a half pounds when he was born. He was born at Modesto City Hospital after 25 hours of labor. There were some problems when he was born. He weighed, besides weighing 13 and a half pounds and being so far overdue, he had too many red blood cells. He couldn't catch his breath. He was hyperventilating. And his APGAR score when he was born was 1. His heart was beating. Became very apparent at a young age that he was intellectually gifted, I guess. He was reading words before he could talk. I could point to the word foot and point to his foot.
With parents kind and dear. Lead me.
My name is S.David Vallentyne. I'm going to tell you plain and simple what it stands for. I am pro-life except for the exceptions of medical reasons and race. I plan to cut taxes and government spending. I will not give in to the environmentalist pressure. Just remember this. Time for change. Time for David Vallentyne. Act.
Lead me, guide me, walk beside me, help me find the way. Teach me all that I must do to live with him someday. I am a child of...
One of the things that was, unique about David was his lack of guile. He never lied to us. I can't ever remember him saying anything that he didn't think was the truth.
Lead me, guide me, walk beside me, help me find the way. Teach me all that I must do to live with him someday.
As David told me that when he was 3 years old, he had a lesson in his primary class about Ammon, and he was a missionary who cut off the arms of people who were trying to steal the king's sheep and attack the other people who were watching the sheep. And he said that that's when he decided that when he grew up he wanted to be a missionary too. Well, one of the traditions in the mission home was to try to drink a whole gallon of milk in one setting, and what happens is the milk curls in your stomach and makes you throw up. But he had a great sense of humor.
I am a child of God, I am a child of if I learn to do his will, I'll live with him once more. Oh, lead me, guide me, walk beside me, help me find the way.
And my brother came home from his mission. And shortly after that, he was going to a church activity, and he was killed.
I am a child of God.
in an automobile accident, which wasn't really an accident because the lady who hit him was high and she was playing chicken on the road on 41, which is already a dangerous road because there's rocks and curves and stuff like that. And he was wearing his seatbelt and he still smashed right through the windshield.
At the time, the main witness, one of the main witnesses who had stopped, she got out of the car and stayed with him until he died. They asked her if she was a relative, and she told them that she was now. She could tell he was somebody important to someone because of his haircut. She stayed with him and talked to him until he stopped breathing. And I'm very grateful to her that she could be there for him. And because her insurance paid out on a death, then the County Madeira had to prosecute her. And it's my understanding that she received 3 years probation and mandatory drug counseling.
I hate the lady who killed him. Like, I've never hated someone so much in my life, and I just want to walk up to her and hit her with an axe in the face. That would make me happy. I think my biggest regret was not having the type of relationship that I would want with him. It was definitely one of my bigger regrets. I miss my brother a lot. It's usually when there's big events that are happening, like weddings and Christmases and stuff like that. It's hard to think that, he won't be there when I get married, and he won't be there when I graduate from college, and, all those things that he won't be there for. I think his death was hardest for my mom than it was for me, because I hadn't seen him in so long before he died. It had been over 2 years since the last time I'd seen him, and just talking to him through letters, it just seems like, maybe if I send letters in the mail, he'd still get them, almost. I know it's weird and creepy, but it still kind of feels that way.
Having a child die changes you just as much as having a child born. You're not the same. Ever in the same way that you're not the same once you have a child.
I think being Mormon really helped with being able to handle his death, because knowing that he's in heaven and happy is really, really good to have. I know it helped my mom a lot too.